Hi everyone, I just wanted to create this video just to give you guys a bit of an update on a couple of things that Zoho has just recently released. So first of all, in the leads module, contacts module and accounts module, and obviously a few other modules, if you have them turned on, you'll notice that the design of the list layout looks a little differently to probably what you're used to. We've been waiting for this feature to come out for a while now. They did announce that they were going to release it earlier on in January. I think January 4th, they announced that they were going to bring it out and it was going to be rolled out. So pretty well nearly all of my clients now that I've noticed that I'm working with daily, you guys all have this new feature now. Pretty well since like last week, I saw it starting to being rolled out to all of you. So one thing I'm just going to highlight just a few things that they have done to kind of make the system a little bit better, but also some changes that you're probably not familiar with as well. So first of all, I'm just going to leave this on the leads module and we'll just talk about it from here. Basically, on the left-hand side, the filter button now is right here. So if you click that, it'll pop out. Previously, you would have noticed that there was a button on that left-hand side about halfway down, a little tiny gray arrow. So that's now been moved to this position up here, which is so much nicer. I think it's a little bit more intuitive and it just hides that button from the left. The next one is one of my favorite ones is the create lead button. So for years, they had just the plus button up there and it was extremely confusing for most people because there was two plus buttons. There was this one and then there was just the plus button to create a new record. And so it was very confusing. But the word import leads would always remain there all day, every day. And it was always just really confusing as to why they put so much effort into having a lead button to import data, but not to create a new lead. So they've created a new button here called Create Lead. And if you now need to import leads or notes, then you need to press the drop-down menu down and then you get to choose those options. So much more better. I love it. It's great. Then we have all the actions that you can do on this sheet on the right-hand side. They're still as they were pretty well. The other one you'll notice is this list view, the Kanban view and the canvas view. For anyone who switches between that, depending on which system you guys are using and how you're using it really, is that used to just be three individual buttons across the top. Now it's in a drop-down menu, so it's a little bit neater to look at. The next favorite thing that I really like, and finally they have done this, has been a massive request by a lot of my clients over the years, has been that they wanted to be able to change the header bar across the top here to read more data in certain columns and less data in other columns. So first of all, you've always been able to change these columns and rearrange them, and you still can. The button is in a different position, which is over here on the right-hand side. You press that and then it's called Manage Columns. And then you select that. This menu pops up now. It's a little bit nicer and simpler to read. It's centered inside your screen, so just way more easier to work with. And now you get to just do the same as you did before. You can either contextually type up here if you're looking for a specific field, or you can just navigate through the scroll wheel. And one thing that's really great is you just tick this. This obviously brings up, obviously you want the description box column to be shown in there, then you can grab that up and then you can just rearrange it just by dragging it through there in wherever you see fit. However, one thing that I really like about this, and this is something that I've been waiting for them to bring out for a while, is the ability for you to be able to change the width of the columns. So maybe everyone's contact name is not so big, so you can shrink that. The account name might not also be that big, but the email will be big. The phone number won't be big, but the description box is large. So maybe you want that bigger. Or maybe you've got other, other fields that you want to rearrange. This is amazing. This is a game changer because this is just something that I know a lot of my clients have always had problems with. And so now this screen is becoming useful. Before it was almost useless because the data you would have on there was only snapshot data. Now you can actually see it for real, and you may not even have to drill down into some of these records depending on what size monitor you're using. There is also another cool feature that's attached to this, which is even better again. Notice here in the description field, I have a lot of text in the description box. Well, they've done two things here. One, if you've got this set to clip text, and I'll show you that in a sec, you can actually pull the drop-down menu down and it's going to show you what that text is in a little pop-out. Fantastic. I absolutely love that. That is a feature that I don't think anyone even asked for, and that is just above and beyond by Zoho. So 10 out of 10. But here is another one. What if you don't want to click on that? What if you are happy for Zoho to word wrap it like you do in like Excel? Well, if you click on that same button again, there is a box that you can change here called wrap text. So if you select that, what it's going to do is it makes that row become the height of whatever the largest box is in that section. And then now you can see all of the text no matter what. And then the next record will just fall in just straight underneath that. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. I'm so glad that they have brought that out. That is a game changer. Also, you would have remembered down the bottom, we used to have like record counts down the bottom, and then we also had an arrow that would allow you to change pages in the event that you had more than like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pages per actual page. So what they've done now is they have pretty well defaulted this so that it's set to 100 per page. And then on top of that, the arrows are now in the top right-hand corner up here, not in the bottom right-hand corner. And the total record count is so much better. It's at the top of the page now where you probably want to see it. It's front and center of mind. It's also straight above like your filters as well, and also your public views. So if you're switching these around, then that number is right there in that top left corner where you're looking, and then it changes on the fly, which is super brilliant. And that's definitely been something for a while. Guys, one of the last things that I wanted to just bring up in all of this as well is other things that they've changed. There's a few things that Zoho are bringing out recently, which are pretty good. And I'm going to keep creating some more of this content for you guys so that you can see what changes are coming out. So keep an eye out for that. If you're interested in more of this video content, then don't unsubscribe from these emails. If you're not interested in seeing this stuff, then just unsubscribe. That's totally fine. One thing that they did with the new layout that they brought out early last year, which most of this new CRM visualization is from last year, the ability for tags was the tags were down the bottom left-hand corner. Well, in January, they moved them and they took them back to where we all requested it. Like all partners pretty well requested Zoho to change this and bring it back to the top. They removed it from the top in their old UI and they put it down the bottom left-hand corner. And then they got massive criticism for it and everyone hated it. And everyone said, no, it's got to go back to the top because that's what we're using tags for. And so, this is a tag. So now the tags are back at the top. For anyone who doesn't know what a tag is just simply is like a hashtag or a keyword that you would use in some kind of online content. It just helps you identify or find a record easier for whatever reason. And it also can help in terms of visualization for you and your staff as well. So this might be like a VIP client or a client that's on some kind of specific plan or service with you guys. You can actually set the tag up there. There are limitations on tags. You can only have so many of them per module. It's roughly 50. And then you can also, you can have as many tags on a record as you can. I think it's like 100 tags per record or something. And then it's different per like CRM subscription that you've got. So you'll need to look up which subscriptions version you're on as to how many tags you can put on a record, but it's roughly like 50 to 100, but 50 means the creation of them. So, or the different types. So if you had VIP as one tag, and then you had like VIP client as the other tag, then that's 2 tags. You can assign them to as many records as you want. There's no limit on that, but it's just the individual tag name. You're limited to 50 in pretty well all of the modules. So tags are super useful, but yeah, if you're going to have like 150 different types of tags, not going to work. There's not enough. But they've obviously made that change, which is super helpful. Quickly, while I'm here, I noticed that a lot of my clients aren't aware of this feature. So I'm just going to throw this in a little bit of a bonus, and that is the best time for and also the business card section up here. If you don't already have access to my online course with my online training, I know a few of you don't, and I'm trying to roll that out a little bit more to make sure that you've all got it. But I go through this a lot more in depth and a lot more, detail in terms of like what you can and can't do in Zoho. I try to upload those videos as regularly as I can. I'm going to have to update heaps of them now because of the new UI features that have come out. If you're not part of that, flick me an email and let me know so that I can add you to that, because I really want you to be part of that. And in here on this specific business card, we have a drop-down menu in the top right-hand corner up here, which most of you are probably familiar with. And there is a button here called Customize Business Card. Now, this is a feature that came out about 4 years ago, but they changed it this time last year and made the business card view have an on and off button on it. Which is super useful because it used to be forced, where you could only bring it down to, it had to be one field mandatory in there at all times. Super annoying because it used to take up lots of screen real estate for my clients that just don't need it because they need way more data. So you can turn it off now, guys. For anyone who knew that, you probably would have found this out a year ago when it came out, but you can turn it off. So if the business card is this section here in the top left-hand corner, you can have 5 fields in there of your type, right? So it's usually just going to be the main 4 or 5 keywords that you guys actually need to have in there for your clients. But if you come in here and turn it off, it's a little annoying because the best time for contact still stays there as well. And you can't remove that and you can't change that. So it's good and bad. There's pros and cons about it, but it does lose that confusion for your staff. So the best time to contact and call, as you guys know, is all about Zoho kind of tracking the emails and information of you guys tracking tasks and things like that on the person's account to get them to interact. The more they interact with you and your system, the more that the system's going to do a best time to contact, as most of you are probably well aware of. But you can turn the business card off for clients who are interested in doing that. That's pretty well it, guys. There's really not much else they've changed. Everything else is pretty well still the same for the last like 12 months. But other than just like a few of the little graphical images up here. And that's about it. Thank you.